So you might be asking why I am out here in the sun with 2 baking trays of Legos. Hello everyone and welcome back into the channel. My name is Andrew, and along with my wife Jessica, we run a full-time online reselling business named 5 Little Ducks Resale. That's where we go to thrift stores, estate sales, and garage sales, and we find items for cheap, and then we flip those items online for a profit on sites like Mercari, Poshmark, and eBay. Now, I don't know if anyone else's sales have been poor, but man, I'm telling you, this summer has been really strange. So a couple videos back, I showed that sales chart where we had that 2-day stretch of 0 sales. Well, shortly after I took that picture, we ended up having a sale come in, which was good. So it killed that 2-day streak. But check this out. This is the updated sales picture from our last 31 days. And you can see that that one big spike that was there is now gone, so it kind of levels out the chart a little bit. But look at this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 days worth of no sales. And that's crazy. Like, I understand that summer is a slow time, but 4 days across a 31-day period is crazy. And so I'm a little bit down in the dumps about that, but to combat that, we've been doing some heavy duty listing. So if you remember from the last video or the video before that where we showed that sticker tub, I mean, we've been listing all of those. Jess has been working on those. I've been listing those auto parts. And so we've had more listings this month than probably in any month this year. And unfortunately, the sales really haven't kept up with that listing schedule. But I think it's just because, you know, it's summertime. People are still out and about doing their thing. But man, it's hard to stay motivated when you're not really seeing the fruits of the efforts. So a little bit on the downside, but we're going to try to stay positive here and move forward. So having said that, I wanted to show you some recent pickups that we did this past weekend, and so check those out. Hey everyone, what's going on? Just wanted to show you what we picked up at garage sales this weekend. Went out both Friday and Saturday and spent about $25 for everything that you see here. We went to a ton of sales, but just not a lot of stuff to pick up. So let's dive right in. So at one sale today, we picked up a Vera Bradley bag and wallet combo for about $6. Ended up making a bundle deal for everything, I think this is what I decided on the prices that were going to be. About $6 here for this bag. It is new with tags, so it's kind of a cool Pokemon little mini backpack here. At that same sale, they also had a couple of boxes of posters, and I picked out a couple of Hello Kitty ones for my daughter because her room was like a Hello Kitty shrine. And this one she ended up already having, so I'm going to try to sell it. So that was about $1 there. At a different sale yesterday, I picked up this Hello Kitty item here along with a bunch of other Hello Kitty stuff, but my daughter ended up taking most of that, but that's fine. So this was one of the leftovers that I was just going to sell anyway. Yesterday's sale for all the Hello Kitty stuff was only $5, so not too bad. At a different sale, picked up a couple of Five Nights at Freddy's plush as well for like 50 cents a piece. They are kind of dirty. We're probably going to pitch these into the washing machine with some other plush that we have yet to wash. And so we'll get a plush washing party going. Also picked up at another sale for $3 these 4 things here. I got a cool vintage racing t-shirt. This is Rippin' something or other, Dale Earnhardt. It's an all-over print. It's got, you know, stuff on the back too, which is cool. I don't usually pick this stuff up, but I know that people, well, I think they do fairly well. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I'm not too familiar with that kind of stuff. So, but it, you know, for 75 cents wasn't too bad. Picked up this sealed pack of VHS C tapes and this cool kind of Constitution belt buckle. I thought that was kind of nice. It says it was a limited edition, so don't know if that makes it more pricey or whatnot. And then I picked up this cool vintage VHS, and it kind of caught my eye. I've not heard of it before, Warriors of the Wind. The outer case is a little bit tattered, but I think I saw sold comps for this thing for about $30. So probably a little bit less than that in this condition, assuming that the tape works. They were just in a bunch of, you know, VHS bins that I was digging through, and that one kind of caught my mind, decided to look it up, And sure enough, that was definitely worth picking up for 75 cents. And then, of course, what pickup would not be complete without some more bulk Legos? This is kind of a cool thing, the little rabbit set. But these will be kind of disassembled and put into the bulk Lego bins for washing and eventually going into the Bricklink store. But since we're on the topic of Legos, I went outside the other weekend and did an experiment where I was taking white Legos, and trying to make them whiter and brighter using hydrogen peroxide and the sun. And I actually took some video of it. So here are the results of that experiment. Well, I find myself outside with 2 baking trays of white Legos. So you might be asking why I am out here in the sun with 2 baking trays of Legos. Well, I have seen this before on a couple of other channels, and I wanted to give it a try myself. So as I was going through here, now these bricks were not my personal stash. These are the ones that I picked up from that big Lego Mania haul. I noticed that as I was piecing them out, trying to figure out the white pieces for a set that I'm trying to build, some of these looked somewhat yellowish. So they, due to age or whatever, they became a little bit yellowed. Now out here in the sun, they actually look decent to me, but I think that they can actually get a boost. And the way that you do that is with this. That is with some good old hydrogen peroxide solution. This is just standard 3%. So the idea is that you get this filled up with hydrogen peroxide and leave it out in the sun and bake it. And literally, after a while, you should get whiter whites on your bricks. So we're gonna give it a try. I'm gonna gauge the results for myself. Just spilled a bunch, but that's fine because I got a bunch of this stuff. We're going for it, baby, all the way. Here we go. Now some of these will float, of course. Now it is somewhat overcast. There are some clouds, but hopefully there's enough UV coming through where we'll see some changes here pretty soon. I'm gonna probably stir these up every couple of hours, and then I'll gauge some results. So now I'm gonna fill this other one up, and I'll be back in a few hours, and we'll see if there's any noticeable difference. All right, so it's only been a few minutes, and I pulled out these other bricks here the other night because these were really the worst of the worst. And so I'm gonna try filling these up as well. Don't need to fill up this whole thing because this is they're gonna float. Just do a little bit more. The idea is just to get them wet, get them coated, and then let them sit. And again, I'll flip these in a couple hours. We'll see if this does anything. Wish me luck. All right, so it's been another 2 hours. So these 3 bins here, or these 3 containers, have had 4 hours worth of sun time, or UV time. And I just put this one out here as well. This one is from a set that I've actually been working on. And so I pulled all the white pieces and I'm just doing a good soak for a couple hours outside just to get them up to par. But the results are really good. So you probably can't tell just from the video. And of course I didn't think to do a before and after, but these are noticeably whiter. And I'm just gonna leave them out here. You know, I've heard various times that people give. I've heard as long as weeks. I've heard as long as hours, or as short as hours. So I think it just really depends on, you know, your personal preference as to how you think that they're coming along. This bin was definitely the worst off, and visually they are much better than what I remember them being. And so that's a really good sign to me that this has definitely worked. But, you know, it's one of those things where you just kind of put them out here and forget. And I do kind of stir them up every hour or so, just so that the pieces that maybe are on the bottom or being obscured by other pieces can see the light, especially with these bigger plates. Just want them to be able to get as much light as possible. But again, this process is super easy, and the results are even better than what I thought I would be getting. So again, this one was only 2 hours, so that's going to be definitely out here for a while. But I think success in brightening up the white parts as well. Now, I have seen other videos where people did other colors, like some of the other colors had gotten sun damaged or damaged in some other way through UV light, just being exposed to light. Maybe they were left out in the sun somehow. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I'm going to stick to white for right now, because that was the biggest challenge that I saw in these. They were just kind of, they just kind of had like an old tinge to them. Now, what I might end up doing as well is that in all of the pieces that I've cataloged for the Bricklink store, I did notate that some were actually tinted yellow. And so I might go through my catalog list, pull those out, do a separate batch in the sun of those. And I actually noted some light grayish blue pieces that were yellow tinged. So I might do an experiment by taking those out and seeing if I get the results back to its original color, or if it may just discolor it even further. I don't know. So it's something to try for sure. So if you ever need to whiten up your Lego bricks, hydrogen peroxide in the sun, few hours, you get great results. So thanks for watching. So it's been about 24 hours since I brought the Legos inside to dry. And what we have here on the left are the pieces that I had outside in the peroxide and the sun, and the other half of the white pieces that never made it into the peroxide bath. So I think there's actually a stark difference. I don't know if you can tell because of the color of the towels that I have, but I'm going to take two pieces here. I'm going to take this one and this one, and I don't know if you can see on camera, but this one definitely has a more yellowish tinge to it. Again, it's kind of hard to tell maybe if I put it against a more neutral backdrop, but the one on the right definitely has a yellowish tinge to it. And I think that's a little bit easier to see right there, especially on the bottom. And that's what I was noticing before. As I was noticing the bottoms of the pieces, they definitely had a yellowish tinge. And after the peroxide bath, that has largely gone away. So I didn't want to leave you guys hanging without some actual physical side-by-side comparisons, but definitely those are whiter. Now these ones right here, these were the worst of the worst. These were the ones that were the yellowest, and as you can see, maybe, there's still a teeny yellowish tinge on that side. And so I'm probably going to give these one more treatment in the bath, and the ones that never made it in the bath will get a full day's treatment as well. And I think we'll be up to speed as far as our whitening experiment. But I would say that it's a great success. Definitely would recommend it. It's super easy. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort. It's very inexpensive. And if you have some dingy white bricks that you want to brighten up, then I would highly recommend this. Drop me a comment below if you have any comments, questions, thoughts, and I will let you go for now. Thanks for watching. So before we go ahead and get into the sales portion of the video today, I definitely wanted to give you a brief recap of our endeavor to open up that Bricklink store. So for those of you who saw the video a number of videos back where I talked about possibly opening up a new endeavor, which was that Bricklink store, things are progressing. It does take a lot of capital to kind of make a new business from scratch inside your existing business. So I'm still in the process of getting materials like cabinets and a table. I'm still doing the sorting process of all my bulk Legos. So once I have a bigger update to do, I'll be sure to let you guys know about that. But it is still in the works. Everything is going well. It's just a very slow, tedious process. So at this point, let's go ahead and transition over to the sales portion of today's video. We actually only have eBay and Mercari because there have been no Poshmark sales either. So it'll shorten this segment a little bit. So the sales dates in question are from June 9 to June 15. And as always, we do start with eBay. So the first item from our eBay store was this pair of Airwalk shoes. These were Airwalk. Men's size 10.5, beige suede leather and navy blue accented shoes, and these sold for $34.99 plus shipping. Next up, we had this Disney women's size large Mickey Mouse ear pattern heather gray short sleeve blouse, and it sold for $14.99 plus shipping. And this next item was the last of many that we had in stock. This was the Transformers Vertebrake from the War for Cybertron Kingdom series. He ended up selling for $9.99 plus shipping. Next up was another 31 bag. This was a 31 fold-up timeless beauty bag, and it sold for $14.99 plus shipping. Following that, we had this cool challenge coin from our U.S. Army haul. This was a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Europe District. It was a 2-inch metal challenge coin, and it sold for $14.99 plus shipping. Next up, we had this vintage set of 5 Oneida Columbia pattern round bowl soup/gumbo spoons, and these sold for $9.99 plus shipping. The next item is one of hopefully many auto parts sales. This was a new GM ambient air temperature sensor wiring harness. It ended up selling for $49.99 plus shipping. The next item was from our Gina consignment lot. This was a Silhouettes women's size 12 boho multicolored accented pattern long skirt, which ended up selling for $9.99 plus shipping. And following that was another auto parts sale. This was a set of 4 GM automatic transmission vacuum modulator pipe connectors, which together sold for $19.99 plus shipping. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea what those were, but I'm glad they sold. Next up was this pair of cinch pants. These were men's cinch black label 2.0 size 38 by 34, slight taper, medium wash denim jeans, and they sold for $24.99 plus shipping. And believe it or not, another auto parts sale was next. This was a new genuine AC Delco gray primer touch-up paint, and it sold for $14.99 plus shipping. Following the paint from your car is paint for your lips. This was a sealed NYX duochromatic shimmer lip gloss in the cocktail party shade. This ended up selling for $6.99 free shipping. Next up was this vintage Hasbro Glow Butterfly Plush Glow Worm from 1985. It didn't have a battery pack, but it was in great condition. It ended up selling for $25.99 plus shipping. Next up was this Mystery Science Theater 3000 20th Anniversary 4-disc set. All discs were tested working, and it sold for $19.99 plus shipping. Following that, we had more makeup. This was L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick in the Milk and Cookies shade. There were 2 of them, and together they sold for $15.98 free shipping. Next up was yet another auto part. This was a new genuine GM OEM driver's side door lock switch, which fit the Suburban, Tahoe, and Yukon. This sold for $14.99 plus shipping. The next item was a Nike men's XXL green quarter zip dry fit top, which ended up selling for $16.99 plus shipping. Next up, we had a long tail item from our family friend Larry. He had given me just a ton of old Star Trek stuff to consign, and this is one of the last items to go out the door. This was a vintage 1993 Star Trek The Next Generation How to Host a Mystery Game. It was new and sealed in box, and it sold on a best offer of $9.19 plus shipping. Up next was a Lego set from our vast Lego Mania haul. This was Lego Marvel. This was the Ant-Man Final Battle, set number 76039. It was, of course, 100% complete with figures, manual, and box, and it sold for $59.99 plus shipping. And also from that Lego Mania haul was this. It was a Transformers. This was 2008 Transformers Universe Air Razor, which was part of the Greater Superion figure. and he ended up selling for $13.79 on a best offer plus shipping. And the last eBay sale of today's video was also from our LEGO Mania haul. This was LEGO Star Wars number 8028, a TIE Fighter, 100% complete with manual, and it sold for a best offer of $4.59 plus shipping. So let's go ahead and transition over to Mercari. We only have 3 sales for this time period, so let's dive right in. So the first item to sell from Mercari was this Victoria's Secret spray. This was Love Rush. It was a fragrance mist, which was 95% full, and it ended up selling for $25 free ship. So just a quick note about this item. So the reason why it sold on Mercari is because I actually didn't even have it listed on eBay. Because it was an open bottle of technically cosmetics, eBay doesn't allow those to be sold on their platform any longer. Now, you'll notice that this was also free ship. So because this was a flammable liquid, I wanted to make sure that I did ship this appropriately. So I ended up printing the shipping through Pirate Ship, and I did declare that there were hazardous materials inside. And I also put on the box a limited quantity sticker, and it also helps to tell the post office that this box needs to go on surface transportation only and not be shipped through the air. The next item was this vintage 1998 Thomas & Friends Harold. He was the 3-inch white helicopter and sold for $4 plus shipping. And the last sale from Mercari was also a Thomas item. This was a non-working 2006 Thomas & Friends Trackmaster motorized Duncan, and he ended up selling for $13 plus shipping. So that's about all that I had for today's video. If you enjoyed this sort of reselling content, go ahead and click the like button for me below, and if you wouldn't mind, even consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help us out. And also drop me a comment below. Let me know how you guys are doing with your sales. Hopefully they are better than ours. So with that, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you next time.